Happy Halloween, yogis! Today's class is going to be centered around just that. It's going to be Halloween themed. Go with me on this. For today's class, you're going to need 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, books are a great substitute. Yay! We're going to start by putting those towards the front of our mat. And then you also need a bolster or a pillow. We're going to start laying on our back in Shavasana. Placing that bolster horizontal behind the knees, laying on our back. We're going to take a nice slow deep breath in. Pause, nice slow deep breath out. Today's pranayama is going to be ujjayi breath. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in and we're going to take one of our hands, we're going to place it hovering over our mouth, and we're going to let a ha sound go and see if you can feel your breath at the end of that ha on your hand. Here we go. Take a nice deep breath in. Out through the mouth. Try that one more time. Nice deep breath in. Out through the mouth. Now we're going to try that same sensation, but we're going to try and keep our mouth closed during that ha at the end. Take a nice slow deep breath in. Should almost sound like the ocean. Some people say it sounds like Darth Vader. Take a nice slow deep breath in. Almost as if you're trying to clear something in the back of your throat. Take a nice slow deep breath in. When we use ujjayi breath, it is a breath that warms the body. It prepares the body for stretching for our asana practice. We're going to do 2 more rounds of ujjayi breath. You can try and keep this breath throughout our practice. It's entirely up to you. Anything I say regarding your practice is just a suggestion. It's not a command, so please feel free to modify as needed. Take another nice slow deep breath in. Take a body scan. On the exhale, just let it all go. Come into the present moment for your yoga practice. One more nice deep breath in. Another nice deep breath in. As you exhale, turn your head. Inhale, bring your head back up towards the center. Exhale, turn your head the other direction. Inhale, bring your head back up towards the center. Exhale out through the mouth. Making a bend one knee and then next take your bolster off towards the side. We're going to use it a little bit later. Take the hands around the shins and move in a circle. Change your breath, change that rotation. We're going to leave our knees right where they're at and we're going to dorsiflex our palms. Our fingernails are going to be reaching back towards us. We want a little bit of space here, and then we want to act like the itsy bitsy spider and we're going to kind of claw our hands here. We're going to reach on back and then we're going to bend slightly. We're going to take our knees so that way they're apart. So we're almost doing like this really funny variation of a child's pose, but on our back. Big toes are touching, and we're going to draw our navel into our spine. Think lower abdominals, and we're going to rotate our hips. And we're going to try and draw our knees above our elbows, and then bring it back. We're going to do that one more time. Lift and back. Now we're going to lift, bring our head up as well. Bring those back, and we're going to take our knees, hug on the outside of the arms, and hug the arms back in and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Roll into the wrists, roll the knees into a circle, change that rotation. Should be kind of hard when you're moving your wrists. Okay, and then drop the knees over towards one side and roll on up. And to take our hands on up towards the sky and draw cactus arms out towards the side. Inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale up. Exhale out. Maybe make a spooky face as you exhale out. One more. And then bring your arms on up and reach over towards the side. I told you to just go with it. And bring your arms on up and exhale over towards the side. Inhale, bring all the way up and fingers tips forward, forearms or forehead down. Inhale, come on up and walk the fingertips on in. Moving into a tabletop position. A little bit of space in between our fingers. Knees in line with hips. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale, come back to a neutral position. Place the left hand right underneath the nose, right hand out, and come into a twist, getting into the shoulders, extending the arm out. On your next exhale, draw that top arm back in to release the lower hand, and we'll switch it out. Right hand underneath the nose, left hand swoops out and behind. A nice slow deep breath in, and then when you find your exhale once more, bend into that top arm and release back on out. 2 more cat-cows. I'm going to come into a neutral spine. Begin to extend the right leg out, toes reaching down, and then go across the midline over towards the opposite side. Look over that shoulder at that foot. Drawing the ball of the foot down onto the ground, really opening up through the right side body. Bring the head back to a neutral position. Swing the leg out wide, walk the hands on in. Reach the arms on up, extend one arm down that straight leg and reach on forward. Coming back up from gate pose and fold back down. From here, we're going to take that right leg that is reaching on out, and we're going to bend at the knee. We're going to take that knee, we're going to bring it towards the outside of that arm. We're going to press, 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 and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release on back. 2 more cat-cows. Inhale up, exhale round. Inhale up, smile to the face. Exhale, bring that positive energy inward. And come back to a neutral spine. Take the left leg out, toes reaching down. Bring it across to the opposite side. Toes land, look over the shoulder. Opening out through the left side this time. Inhale, come back towards the center. Swing the leg around so that the foot plants and it's in line with the knee. Walk on up. Reach the arms on up, leg, arm slides down the straight leg. There we go. Reaching over towards that side, gate pose. Come back on up and fold forward. Bring a bend into the knee and take that knee on the outside of the upper arm and hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it on back. Tuck the toes under. Bring it into a toe squat. And while we're in this toe squat, we're going to come into our thriller arms. So we're going to swing our arms like a zombie from one side to the other for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing on down, beating out the tops of the feet. Tucking the toes under, bring it down to downward facing dog. Pedaling out those feet. Begin to walk the feet on forward. Begin to inhale, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, reach arms up overhead, exhale, swan dive forward. 2 half sun salutations. Inhale up halfway, fingertips, shins, or thighs. Exhale, round. Inhale, roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, reach arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Come up halfway, fingertips, shins or thighs. Exhale, round. Nice. Begin to draw those blocks on in. Take your right leg forward, left leg back into a lunging position. Knees in line with heel. Back heel is kicking and alive. We have that push-pull happening. Square off our hips. Now we're feeling live here. We're going to do a flying witch. We might have a little change of names today. For poses, we're going to take our right arm out and our left arm and hover over. Really lift the torso off the thigh so it's hovering. You're going to feel that activation in the legs. Hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release those arms back down. Take the left block, place it on its flattest edge, and release the right arm on up, coming into a twist. 2 more rounds of breath here. On the exhalation, bring it back towards the center. Move those blocks off towards the side. Take that top leg, hover for a second, and then bring it back. Lower the knees and lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, baby cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come all the way back up into a tabletop position. Tuck those toes under, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Inhale, walk the feet towards the hand, Uttanasana. Find length, exhale, round. 2 halves and salutations. Inhale, roll on up. Palms connect. Exhale, hands at heart center. You guys are doing good. Inhale, reach on up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Come up halfway, fingertips, shins or thighs. Exhale, round. Inhale, roll on up. Palms connect. Last one. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Find length. Exhale, round. Moving those blocks on its edge. Left leg forward, right leg back, flying witch on the other side. Knee in line with heel. Press that heel on back and then find that push-pull. Square off the hips. Option to stay here. Take the left arm out, right arm out, and hover just slightly, leaving a little bit of space between that thigh and your torso. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale on down, flatten out that right block and twist open on the left-hand side. On the exhalation, see if you can sink and drive those hips down. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, release on down. Moving your blocks. Option to do the same sequence we did before, or hover that top leg, bring it back, chaturanga. Take your weight over the wrist, bend back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedaling up the feet. Inhale, walk the feet in. To meet the hands, take those blocks on its highest edge, find a little bit of length, and then walk those blocks on out so that way they are in line with your shoulders. From here, we're going to bend into our left knee and we're going to transfer our weight over onto that left side, coming into a modified warrior 3 pose. Begin to extend and kick your toes down. Move your left hand towards the outside of that left thigh and press that thigh into your hand. So you have the activation there. And then take that back heel, drive it out. Little pulses there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back knee meets the back of the front knee, and then extend back out. We're going to do that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, find some lengthening out through that lower leg. Do that same turn on of the outside of the leg to open up through the right leg. And now we have half moon pose, opening up the side. Option to bend into the knee and reach for the ankle here as a modified variation. Option to keep it straight, toes reaching out. Really find that length out through the side body. Bend into that bottom knee, rotate the toes back down and release on back. 2 half sun salutations, release on down, roll on up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Palms connect, Tadasana. Reach arms on up, upward salute, exhale, Uttanasana. Find some length, walk those blocks on out again if they moved. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Begin to draw the left leg back. Modified warrior 3 pose, toes are reaching down. Take that right hand to the outside of that right thigh and make sure it's kicking on, it's turning on, and the knee is over the middle of the toes. Engage that core, find length. Little pulses, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee to knee connection for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten up that lower leg, kick on the outside to rotate and find that rotation in the left hand side to turn out the toes, turn out the torso, maybe extend that arm. Maybe you bend into the knee, reaching for that ankle, kicking through the foot away from the hand, find a little opening, extend, rotate down, back to that warrior 3, bend into the knee and bring it back in. Nice. Bringing those blocks down to your side and rolling on up. We're going to take the legs out wide here. Coming into a 5-star pose, and then we're going to bend. Finding our knees once more, tracking to the middle of our toes. Begin to take one arm out and the next little pulses here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten on now. Take that back foot, that left foot, turning it in. Reach that hand down the side of the leg to find Trikonasana triangle pose. Or the symbol from Harry Potter, keeping to our Halloween theme. Hand can be on the shin or on a block in front or behind. I want to make sure that we're reaching out of that lower side. We also want to make sure that we're not placing our hand on our knee. 2 more rounds of breath here. Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. Begin to use that length to bring the block on up. Turn the other toes in. Turn the other toes out. Triangle pose on the other side. Take the other hand, draw it on the outside of the leg to extend on out. Bring the block down. Trikonasana triangle pose or Harry Potter symbol on the other side. Extend out of the side waist so we're not collapsing, but instead we're finding length. One more round of breath. Drive down through that lower hand, lift on up, bring your block with you. Turn both toes in towards the side edge of your mat, little bend in the knees, and bring your block on forward, and then down as if it's heavy. It can be on its highest side, second side, or flat. It's entirely up to you. Find a little bit of length, and then begin to fold on forward. Maybe get that forehead towards the block so that it rests on it. Maybe take the legs out a little bit wider. As you're in this position, notice where your weight is. Is it over towards the ball edge too much or over towards the heel? See if you can find that equal weight through the side. Draw the hands So that way the fingertips are in line with the toes and the elbow is in. Maybe begin to stretch it out and work yourself down on that block. So the top of your head, more of the forehead, is reaching towards that block. Finding that length. Begin to bend the knees and slowly walk over towards one side, coming into a high lunge, moving your block over. Take your hands on either side, lift and hover for just a second, and then 10 mountain climbers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You're running away from something spooky. 3, 2, 1, and release on down. Taking your legs out in front, take one leg out wide, the other leg out wide, seated wide angle. Toes reaching on up. You can use your blocks to find that stability. You can also roll up the back edge of your mat or use your bolster to prop off your hips. So that way you're not hunching and leaning back. It's more rotating and finding length. Toes reach on up. Thriller arms once more for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Reach your arms forward towards the block and begin to find your way onto your forearms on your block or your hands leaning as far forward, walking into the fingertips towards the edge. It's entirely up to you. Reach that hard on forward though as we get a nice stretch into our hips. So we've brought in the moon, we've brought in the stars, witches, Harry Potter. We're going to be moving into an arm balance of crow pose. Also brought in the component of thriller, zombies. And begin to roll on up. Begin to bend the knees and walk the legs on in, rolling out the wrists. Okay, so crow pose. I love crow pose. So for those of you who have never done crow pose, think of it as starting off in like a leapfrog position or garland pose, and then you're just transferring your weight into your hands. Celebrate small victories. So it might not happen right away, okay? Your bolster is there just in case you face plant. So that is what it's there for, your bolster or your pillow. Just having that there can build confidence. Also, it's so much easier to like face plant into a bolster as opposed to a thin mat, okay? The blocks are here. If you want to try another variation that I'm going to give you as an option. So this is your time to play. If you already have a crow practice and you're like, ooh, I want to try different things, I can give that for you as well. We're going to be coming at it for crow instead of crane. So crane is where you're going to have the arms straight and your knees are going to be in your armpit. Today we're going to be looking at crow, where we're looking at, we've already done it laying down. We've also done it in a half kneeling position. It's taking the knees and bringing it to the outside of the upper arms and hugging that back in. When we do chaturanga, our elbows hug in towards our side. That's going to be crucial for the beginning of this. Eventually you do work on straightening your arms, but in the beginning you want to have your elbows bent and your elbows bent towards you, so you don't want it to be on the outside. That's going to be a very unstable position. Also, it's just not going to be healthy on your elbow joints or your wrist joints. Okay. If you get tired during our practice of our crow pose, turn that bolster around and you can just find a lovely child's pose. So we're going to have it vertical out in front. We're going to take our knees out wide, again, almost as if we're doing a leapfrog over our bolster. Bolster's off towards the side, and it's dependent on you. So You don't want to have your bolster right next to you because then that defeats the purpose and you're just going to go over the bolster. So why I say it's dependent on you, I have a really long torso, so my bolster is going to be further away than somebody who has a shorter torso. So you just want to kind of estimate of where that is if you were to fall forward from this froggy position of where your face is going to be. From here, we're going to have our fingertips, so that way there's a little bit of space between them, and then we're going to claw at the ground like a cat. Okay, and then we're going to round our spine like we did in our cat-cows. That rounding is going to draw our knees up, so is lifting up through our ankles. And then we're going to draw our elbows back, and we're just going to lean forward. The important thing here is whenever we're doing any kind of balancing is to find that focal point. So you want to balance out your head and your feet. So if I'm looking back towards my toes, then that just brings more weight towards my head, and then my toes are going to lift on up, and that's where I'm going to face plant. Also, you might do a frontward somersault. Vice versa, if I'm looking too far up, then my toes are going to come back up, and I'm going to have more of a teeter-totter this way. So we want to find that balance between our head and our toes, and we want to lift on up through our hips. Okay? So we're going to come in, we're going to claw at the ground, and we're just going to lean forward. We're going to hug the elbows in, lift the knees on up. I'm going to look towards the top of my bolster, and then I'm going to lower back. So just take that feeling. We're going to press very slowly of taking the weight into the hands. Weight into the hands, and then bring it back. Claw, 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 lift, 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 and then bring it back. Good. Now we're going to connect knee on the outside of our upper arms. We're going to make that connection of hug, 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 and bring it back. Now I might have a little bit more space in between my feet, so that way my feet are maybe just a little bit on the inside of my hands. Again, everybody's going to be different. So we're going to look forward, hug those elbows back, and then lift off one leg, bring it back. Rock forward, lift up the other leg, and bring it back. And that might just be your practice today. You might be sweating by now and be like, whoo, holy macaroni, and celebrate that. Be like, I'm taking weight into my hands. I'm going to do one leg and the other leg, and then bring it back down. The third component of this is lifting up and trying to get your big toes to touch. You don't want to jump up into anything. You're just slowly lifting. Think of bringing your heels and kicking them towards your booty. So my elbows are locked in. I'm clawing. My knees are hugging to my upper arms. I'm looking for it, and then I'm going to connect my big toes together, lifting my heels up towards my glutes, hold, 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 and then bring it on back. We're going to try that again. Looking towards the top of the mat, crunching in, holding, and lift, 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 and then bring it on down. If you have crow pose and you're like, oh, that's easy peasy, then play with lifting up your feet. Hold and think of like tapping and lifting up. And that's going to work on your upper arm strength and working on strengthening the legs to bring it on up. Yeah? Do it one more time. Hands, shoulder width, claw, look towards the top, elbows hug back and in like chaturanga. Bring the knees on the outside and then lift on up. Yeah. I said I'd show you a variation as well using blocks. I don't normally like to do this one without us actually being in the classroom, but it's an option to play with. You can use one block or two. You can have them off towards your side. This just brings, so if you're sliding down your legs a lot, this just brings your knees up past your elbow, and this helps round your spine, and it takes it a little bit further away so you can hold. Instead of what happens sometimes is our knees end up somehow being below. So if you're looking in the mirror and this is you and you're like sliding down, having the blocks and that elevation could help with that. So something else to play with. finding ourselves with our props off towards the side, feet towards the front. Begin to make your way on down, hugging knees in towards the chest and rolling in a circle, massaging out that lower back, which should feel really good. Change direction. 10 yogi bicycles. Bring the hands behind the head and rotate out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees on in. Extend the legs on up. Bring the feet on out and hold on to the hamstrings, calf, or reach on around towards the outside edge. Happy baby pose, rocking side to side. Release the feet, bring the knees on in, drop the knees over towards one side, come into a nice little rotation here. Reclining twist. Inhale, bring the knees on up. Exhale, draw over towards the other side. Inhale, bring the knees on up. Come into any other posture you need for your practice. Before coming into Shavasana, maybe using that bolster behind the knee, same way we started class. I'm going to close down the eyes. Begin to relax. Find a little bit of space between the upper and lower jaw. Shoulders reach away from the ears. Relaxing upper and lower arms, right and left thumb, right and left pointer finger, right and left middle finger, right and left ring finger, and right and left pinky finger. All 10 fingers relaxed. All the muscles surrounding the spine from the neck all the way down to the tailbone soften and release. Hips release, upper and lower legs release, and all 10 toes. The whole right side of the body relaxed, the whole left side of the body relaxed, allowing the whole body to relax. going to bring movement to the body by wiggling fingers and toes. Allow your first thought to be a positive one. Allow the edge of the mouth to curl up to create a smile. You can just slowly bend one knee and the next, folding one arm up overhead to use that as a cradle as you fold over in a nice fetal position, taking this time for yourself. When you're ready, press into the earth and come up to a comfortable seat. Hands can be on the thighs or palms together. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Halloween. The light in me honors that positive light within each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you.